Morning, I'm Cory.
And I'm Wallace.
And we're an early retired couple that are traveling the world. Today we're in Georgetown, Malaysia.
We're doing something a little different this morning. We are here currently on the island of Penang, and we are here at ESCAPE Penang, which is a theme park slash water park. We're currently about a 45-minute drive outside of Georgetown, and this park looks pretty crazy and has the world's, actually two, it's the world's longest zip coaster and the world's longest tube water slide. So we're gonna have some fun today, and we're gonna take you guys along with us. Before we start with the water park stuff, we just got all harnessed up, if you can see.
It was very interesting. They just handed it to us and just no instruction, but it was a pretty straightforward process.
Yeah, so full body harness so that we can do some of the land or dry side activities first. I'm just gonna turn the camera around here. This, which is basically an obstacle slash ropes course that traverses up through the trees here and looks pretty crazy. I'm gonna pan around. You can see above this is part of the tube coaster, or sorry, the tube slide. And in the background, you can probably just barely make out some movement. This park actually has a chairlift, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the only chairlift in Malaysia. Not at a ski hill, because it's 30 degrees again. It doesn't snow here in December.
So our safety gear has arrived, and we haven't gotten instructions how to work it, but we're pretty sure you just put the rope through there.
Line goes through there, and then this looks like a extra safety. Rope will be there, so you're connected at 2 points at all times.
Just waiting in line, but this is comfy.
Cory's monkeying around in her harness. First obstacle is a high wire walk.
I'm just waiting for her.
All right, my turn. Obstacle 2 is sort of a rope bridge, not really. It's these sections of log pieces. And the next obstacle is a floating teeter board.
The hardest part is this, I think.
Cable's kind of annoying.
Yeah. That actually makes it harder.
Ooh.
Just stand and walk.
Huh?
You got it.
That's not my favorite feeling in the world. Oh, okay, it didn't drop as heavy as I thought it was gonna. We've been stuck for a little while because of someone stuck further up the course, but now it's zipline time. Cory, of course, has a much better sense of balance than I do. Makes this look a lot easier than it will be for me.
Looks like Wallace figured it out.
Awkward height.
Yeah.
This one looks like the most awkward yet. So part of the challenge has been that the cable that we're tethered to, it's at a really awkward height. So it's right on your shoulder or like smack against the side of your head as you're trying to traverse these obstacles. Makes it a little awkward.
Okay, go.
That first step was a doozy.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
That caught me way off guard. Zip line for the finish. Go ahead, Cory. That was a lot of fun, but a lot of waiting around, and it is way after lunchtime already, so I'm gonna go grab some lunch while Cory does level 3 on that course. Unfortunately, lunch here isn't very exciting for her. There's only an A&W with no gluten-free options, so that's why Cory's gonna keep playing while I go eat, because there's nothing for her there. Just like any of the other theme parks we've been to so far, it's just constant noise here. There's speakers blasting music in every direction, so it's really hard to find any peace and quiet, but I guess you don't expect peace and quiet when you come to a place like this. Maybe it's just me getting old, I don't know. Got my food from A&W. It was 25.90, almost 26 ringgit, Malaysian ringgit for this combo, which is just a hair over $8 Canadian. And what that got me was a matzo burger, except that's not matzo, that's regular cheese. But still, I mean, it's a burger with an order of curly fries, oops, drop one, and an A&W root beer. It's expensive for Malaysia, but really, in the grand scheme of things, it's fairly cheap, especially considering we're at a theme park. So I was going to get into this burger and see how it is. It does not taste like a matzo burger back home in Canada, but it's still not bad. The curly fries here are different than the NWs in Canada. They're like the seasoned, crispy curly fries. So they're definitely coated with flour, which means Cory can't have these. That's why I'm here by myself right now. Yeah, it's not bad. And a nice cold A&W root beer, and that tastes just like back home. So overall, pretty happy.
Wallace decided to skip level 3. So I'm on my own. I'll do my best for filming, but I don't think I'll get much. Came up to level 3. Gonna give it a run. I think there's less people, so it shouldn't take nearly as long. It's gonna be a challenge. This is my first obstacle. Just a net. That looks awesome. First obstacle down. Wasn't too bad. This one looks a little bit more challenging. Let's see. Second obstacle, I kind of cheated. I kind of just like ziplined it because I couldn't actually reach the bottom rope. So it was kind of pointless. Obstacle 3, though, looks very interesting. Let's see how I do. You're supposed to sit and kind of, I guess, work your way across. I fell once, then I kind of just used the wire to hold myself up. Not really sure how it works because it spins pretty good. Obstacle 4 is a tightrope, but you have a guide wire, so shouldn't be too difficult. Got through it. It wasn't that difficult. The worst part is the guide wire. It's like right at shoulder height, so it throws your whole balance off, so you can't actually do any of these to like their full potential, which is kind of disappointing. And now for a zip line. Let's see if I can shoot while I go across. That was fun. Now I have another zip line. It's even bigger. That zip line was really cool. It was nice and big. Now it's a net. That net was not that bad. And now I think this is like a platform that you sit on, that you go across. So we'll see how that goes. That was fun, but super awkward to get off. Because you have to hang on to this and like it spins. This one was super fun. You kind of had to like swing to catch the other rope. Super fun. It was challenging, but not overly challenging, especially for the ones that are built for taller people. It's a little bit more challenging, but there's definitely a way to do everything, and it's fun. I highly recommend.
In retrospect, that matzo burger from A&W wasn't actually that good. It definitely tasted like a cheap imitation of an A&W burger. Didn't really hold up to their usual chain's standards, which is interesting because I've had McDonald's and I've had Burger King while we've been over here in Malaysia, and both of those taste exactly like back home. Anyways, I'm done my lunch now. Gonna go find Cory and we'll keep exploring. Perfect timing. I literally crossed that bridge and said I'm gonna go find Cory, and Cory called, and here she is because she finished basically exactly the same time I came looking for her.
It was fun. Highly recommended at least once.
So a little bit of good news though. There is a bubble tea, it's called Tea Live. It's a bubble tea juice smoothie place. So Cory's able to get a mango juice smoothie thing.
I think, I haven't looked at the food options, but I'm assuming this is
it.
Desert for gluten-free, so I brought my own snacks.
A&W was a complete no-go except for root beer. There's the bubble tea place here, and there's another place that sells chicken strips and stuff next to us there, but that won't be gluten-friendly at all. So bring your own snacks if you need gluten-free.
And technically you're not supposed to bring your own food, so hide it as you come in.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna make a big deal about it, but this is really cute. They have these little tiny mini roller coasters for the small kids. Love it. So this is one of the I guess rides. It's Cocoa Climb. You harness up here and you climb a coconut tree. And behind it there's like a little mini trapeze. Oh, there's a bigger trapeze swing here with like the netting underneath. So I guess there's a little practice one there, and then the big one here. There's rock climbing up that building over there that you can see in the distance.
That looks so.
Yeah, it looks like an auto Blair, and just rock climbing holds along the exterior of that building. Nothing crazy. Apparently, we're going skiing in Malaysia. Not really. We're gonna tube down this thing. So also up this way, is the kite flyer, which is this big 4-person swing that we may or may not do later. See how busy it gets.
We found Malaysia's first ski slope. We're gonna tube down it.
So at the bottom there, where I filmed, you know, the beginning part, they actually had a couple pairs of skis and ski boots propped up against the wall. So I think you actually can technically ski this. It's like this really long, like fingered mat kind of scenario. I'm not really sure how that would work with skis though. So we're just gonna tube. So no, we're not going sledding today because it was a really long wait for how short of a lineup it was. They only have so many tubes, and I guess they have to run them up like on a little cable car carrier thing. So we didn't feel like waiting. We're walking back down, and we're gonna go up and take the chairlift up to do the zip coaster next. There's also this tower here, which you climb up. And then basically an audible air drops you to the ground. We're not gonna do that. Cory and I both used to rock climb, so we've done much bigger drops than that. Not very exciting for us, but if you've never done something like that, it might be fun.
So unlike Canada, where the chairlift is run very efficiently, this seems very disorganized. We've seen a bunch of chairs go up without people.
Even though there's a pretty sizable lineup. It is a really weird thing to jump on a chairlift without either a set of skis or a snowboard strapped to your feet.
And it's 30 degrees and it's jungle underneath, not snow. It's really cool though.
Yeah, this is not the usual view from a ski lift.
But it's gorgeous.
You can see the monkey business obstacle course there. You're looking at the top level 3 area is the highest. You can see the world's longest tube slide running underneath as well. We're now in line for the world's longest zip coaster. It's a 1.1 kilometer ride back down the mountain on the zip coaster line. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. We're about halfway through our lineup right now. This is the people remaining in front of us, but we've already been in line for about 15 minutes. Probably going to be at least another 15, 20 at least. Not a lot of people here, but it's a very inefficient system the way they're putting the loading the chairs back up on the line after they come off the chairlift and loading passengers onto the ride as well. So take it for what it's worth. It looks like it's going to be fun, but it's going to take a while, so plan your trip accordingly. We are finally up near the front of the line. Just these people ahead of us to load, and then it'll be our turn. And those are our seats right there hanging at the back there. Doesn't look like a lot of people, but like I said, they're pretty slow to load people. It's just a fairly manual process. After the seats come back up on the chairlift, they get stacked there, and then those guys down there haul them up and manually stick them back on the end of the line here for the next rider.
Our turn. He's just clipping me in. I have no idea what he said.
If we get stuck, we grab the things and we kind of push together. Once the legs cross, I don't know why, but whatever.
for some reason I have to be sitting in like a very weird position. So much fun.
This is awesome.
Oh wow. It just like flies. Okay, I didn't expect that.
No, I'm glad we're not just holding on to the T-bar.
I agree.
I get why they would have changed it.
Ooh. Ooh. Not the smoothest.
That was a little rough. This is awesome. Oh, geez, I'm all over the place. I can't straighten out.
I know. Oh, Jesus. Ooh, ooh.
This thing actually gets a lot of speed.
Oh, Jesus.
That is a really awesome long ride.
Yeah. It's not over.
No, I know, this is freaking amazing. That was awesome.
I fully didn't expect that. That was crazy. That's not like any roller coaster I've ever been on. And yeah, it flung you around like crazy.
Yeah, you you know, you're just hanging there in that little basket and it's whipping you around the corners and you're trying to grab the chains and try to straighten yourself, and that doesn't work. You just keep swinging until it naturally wants to come to a stop, and it got a decent amount of speed at certain sections of that, so that was really fun.
That was so much fun.
So yeah, that's the world's longest zip coaster. We're gonna go change into our swim trunks and bathing suits now, and we're gonna get on to the next ride, which is the world's longest tube water slide.
Time to switch gears. Time to go and enjoy some of the water things. We've got slides, pools, many things. So
first stop I think is gonna be the world's longest tube water slide.
we have to pick up our tube and then go up the
chairlift.
That is a very interesting concept for me.
Okay, ready? Chill.
Thank you. Yeah, this is weird, carrying our inner tube up a chairlift.
And we're in our bathing suits going up a chairlift.
That's new too. Yeah, never done that before.
We are so close to the ground. My feet keep hitting like the foliage. It's a very weird feeling.
Like, we could get off here. We won't, but we could.
You could easily.
We're back up at the top of the chairlift now and in line for the world's longest tube water slide, which is 1,111 meters long. So this should be a fairly long ride and pretty fun from the looks of it.
We'll see. Yeah, this should be a lot quicker of a lineup, hopefully.
Then the zip coaster, yeah, much quicker lineup, much longer ride. Here we go, world's longest tube water slide.
Let's go.
Thank you. This is awesome. Say hello, Cory.
This is so much fun. It is actually pretty cool.
It really is.
Well, you can feel like the separations, and like you step on that on your back. So I'm actually really thankful that the other team.
Got a little sideways there.
meant to slow you down.
The water slide was awesome. Moved a lot quicker than I thought it was gonna actually. So it didn't take as long to get down as we thought it would.
Some areas were just a little dicey. It felt like you're gonna fly out, but clearly we didn't. It's all good.
We've now come back up to the top of the chairlift. We're gonna do one more ride up here before we head back to the other side of the park. And all that banging you hear behind me are the tubes that we're gonna take for the tubby racer, which is that ride there. This should be interesting. This looks like it's gonna be fast.
Yep.
That was fun, but that was interesting because you're on this, like, you're on these inner tubes, but it's riding on rollers and it gets going pretty fast actually.
It went really fast, and I would say if you only have time for one, I would pick the water slide over the
Tubby racer.
tubby racer. But if you have time for both, definitely try it.
Yeah, definitely.
Or all three, because the lineups can get you. There's people up there that are probably going to close the park because they're in line for the zip line or
Zip coaster.
zip coaster.
Yeah.
So
All right. I think we've got one more ride that we want to do today, and that's going to be the lazy river. So we're going to head back over to the other side of the park. We just made a slight detour and did this one first because it was all in the way. It was really fast. Couldn't film that one from up there because of the way you're holding those mats. And now we're going to go back up and do this guy. Oh, careful. Oh, sorry. Well, I went on the super looper. Cory tried and got stuck and didn't make the loop. And had to be rescued from the rescue hatch. And now we're on the lazy river.
it's the first time I've ever gotten stuck, and it was scary. But they had a hatch, so it was easy to get me out. But thankfully, it was easy. Because I was starting to go backwards. I was scared. It is so pretty in here. This lazy river doesn't move very well.
It's pretty lazy.
Has to paddle a lot. But it is peaceful in here.
Very much so. This one's called Family Twister, I think. It's another tube slide. It'll be shorter than the other one, but I think a little faster because it goes a lot steeper, it looks like.
You want to go front or back?
I'll go back. You go front. Look at those views. I was not expecting that. Alright, we're gonna try Speed Racer one more time, but I'm gonna try to film it this time. We'll see if this works.
Yeah. I'll play again.
I am trying this. Alright,
Yeah, ready?
here we go.
1, 2, go.
And that was Speed Racer. A lot of fun.
That was incredibly fun.
That was really fun. But I think that's it. It's almost 6 p.m. so we're gonna be running up to closing time here soon. And we're pretty tired and getting hungry, so I think we're gonna take a long grab ride back to our Airbnb, shower, change, and go grab some dinner. I think that's where we're gonna leave you guys. So thanks very much for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed coming along and visiting ESCAPE Penang with us. We certainly had a blast today. Please hit that thumbs up to give us a like and feel free to subscribe.
And we hope that you'll join us in our next video for more adventures. And until then, stay curious and keep exploring. We just came to Holy Guacamole for dinner on Love Lane. And I feel super comfortable. I mentioned gluten-free to both the person out kind of like touting and also the waiter. Instantly, it was no problem. Most of their menu is already naturally gluten-free, so you're not going to have any trouble. And this place has a really kicking vibe. You can see behind me.
This place is really cool. It's not busy, which is a shame because it looks really awesome. What I see on the menu is legit Mexican food. When we checked the review on this place on the Find Me a Gluten Free app, the owner, or one of the owners, is Mexican. So all the taco options are naturally gluten free because they're using corn tortillas. Very traditional flavor profiles. Only thing is their Alpha store is chicken. They don't do pork here, so I'm guessing they are halal. So it's all chicken and beef options, but still looks pretty good. And we've got some drinks and some yummy food coming, and I'm pretty excited because I'm really hungry after that day at the ESCAPE Penang water park.
Looks pretty good. Nachos, I mean, it's nothing special. It's just chips with 2 different kind of cheeses, little jalapeno, sour cream, some homemade pico de gallo, and some refried beans, and we added some guacamole. Could be crispier, but you know what? I'm hungry, and it's pretty tasty right now.
I went with 2 different types of taco. I went with pulled chicken. I know I say I'm vegetarian 99.9% of the time. I'm starting to get into chicken. And I got beef taco. Really. So try this. The Mexicans know how to do beef. It's spicy it's delicious. There's cheese, a little bit of pico de gallo. I'll probably add some guacamole and some more. And the chicken.
This water to sound check. This water sound check. This
And that's
water
really good.
sound
And you're not
check.
going to hear me, but it sounded
This
Yeah, sorry for the noise. They're doing a sound check because they're doing live music in a little bit here. Anyways, we're gonna get down to business and finish these tacos off.
The nachos were delicious, really fresh. The guacamole was fantastic. Oh, I misspoke earlier. That wasn't pico de gallo. That was salsa roja, like a red salsa. Also very tasty. The frijoles, the beans, were really tasty too. Anyways, we polished those off. And now I'm going to start it on my tacos. So I've got 2 of the Baja fish tacos, 1 hard shell, 1 soft shell. And I've got a pico de gallo underneath with some lettuce, and then some sriracha mayo on top, and some cabbage as well. So let's give this a try. This is also going to be really hard to eat. Because this is... I wanted to try the hard shell, but it's going to definitely break up here. Yeah, that'll do. You get the sweetness from the sriracha mayo, and then the fish it's a little soggy now because we let it sit while we're eating the nachos, but really tasty. And it would have been crispy when it first came out. But yeah, that's pretty good.